The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ACEC RT Financial Wellness Webinar Series featuring today's guest, Empower Retirement. We appreciate all of you taking the time to join us today. A few items to go over before we get started. First, in order to ensure everyone has the ability to hear the information presented by our guest speaker, everyone will be on mute during the webinar. Second, please feel free to write in any questions you have using the Q&A tool on the webinar menu. At the end, we will take some time to go through these. And now I'd like to introduce our guest speaker from Empower, John Abramson. John is a Client Relationship Manager with Empower Retirement. He is responsible for the strategic level aspects of the relationship between the ACEC Retirement Trust and Empower Retirement. He leads a team of experts, including the account managers, communication consultants, and compliance analysts. John joined Empower Retirement in 2010. He has more than 17 years of experience in the retirement industry. Prior to joining Empower Retirement, John worked for Merrill Lynch as a Client Relationship Manager. John earned a BA in Economics and Political Science from Ashland University and currently maintains FINRA Series 6 and 23 securities registrations. Thank you for leading us through this webinar today, John, and now I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, and welcome to our webinar. Excited to announce a new service within the ACEC Retirement Trust that we wanted to make sure that each of you as participants are aware of. And one of the things that have been asked among the trustees here recently has been around, is there a way that we can get advice? Is there a way that we can add that component in? And the trustees have been evaluating out different opportunities for utilizing advice, and they've elected to offer the Reality Investing Advisory Services. So we're going to discuss the Reality Investing Advisory Services today, including the Managed Account Service and just the overall enrollment process in general. As a quick reminder, the information contained in this is just for general education purposes only. There's not specific financial, legal, tax advice and things there. And also, I want to let you know I'm coming to you from Denver, where it has been raining for 2 days straight, feeling like I'm in Seattle here today as well. So over the last few decades, the retirement investing world has really seen some alarming trends. Some of our participants out there are not taking some basic steps to ensure that stronger portfolio. And let's see, I'm having a hard time advancing the slide here. Let's see if I can get over there. It'll work now. And so we have participants that are really not diversifying their investments as they should. Now, what we found is that many participants tend to misunderstand some of the investment options. They don't always pick the investments that align with their personal risk profile. And then once they pick the investments, sometimes they just hold on to them, despite changes in the circumstances, the market, and different things that are going on in there. So as a result, participants are generally looking for some level of assistance to help them with selecting your investment options. And that's where we can start to see this framework and see this discussion. Now, advisory services is on the next slide here. I'm having a hard time advancing them here, but advisory services does provide participants with the opportunity to receive that investment assistance from both the accumulation of savings through when they're taking distributions after they retire. The spend down advice feature does allow participants to see how long their desired income will last in retirement, and then determines how much sustainable income you can spend throughout your retirement years based upon your wealth, spouse's wealth, and time horizons there. The spend down advice feature can also recommend to implement a guaranteed retirement income product such as Secure Foundation in your portfolio as well for us. Advisory services does provide the investment advisory tools and services to help you as a participant based upon the level of involvement you desire to have in managing your investment. And that's what's really important about all of this. It's going to allow you to continue to do things by yourself if you want to as well, but also give you the opportunity to select and allow somebody else to take on that responsibility for you, or even have somebody that looks over your shoulder guiding you along there as well. Because we know that some people really enjoy being actively involved in making decisions about their investments. And some people also just don't have the time, energy, interest, confidence, or knowledge to make some of those decisions. And they may just want the convenience of having somebody else manage that account for them. So advisory services does allow you to choose the appropriate with what you like to do. Now, what we have found throughout some of our industry research out here is we see 3 different personality types of investors that are out there. And we see that those different personalities can translate into different types of investor behavior. And we are able to now offer through the retirement trust kind of the ability to have each of those different participant personalities can have whatever level of involvement they'd like to have in there. We have found that about 20% of the investors out there are do-it-myself investors, where they're confident and knowledgeable in what they're doing, they're proactive, they're researching their account, they're looking at the industry trends, the funds that are out there, and they're able to make decisions on their account on their own. Now, those participants sometimes would like to see some guidance out there, like to see that maybe somebody in their specific case might want to consider investing in certain percentages in certain sectors or what have you. We've got some tools and calculators that continue to be available for those participants. We've also found, though, that 20% of the investors out there are help-me-do-it investors, where they need some education and some assistance. They would like to have somebody kind of validate what they're doing today. And those participants can use our online investment guidance and online investment advice features. We'll enable them to go out and say, what should I be doing? And from there, they can get what they should be doing. We'll provide them information and to say you should be putting 20% in this mutual fund or 15% in this mutual fund, and lay out a specific investment piece for that participant. And then finally, about 50% of the investors out there are do-it-for-me investors, where they just want to have somebody else manage that account for them. And they'd like to have a qualified financial professional and expert go through and really allocate their funds and do what they need to do. But for those participants, they can look at that managed accounts. Now, I know that many of you are engineers out there. And I know that engineers are doing the math on the screen right now and going, what is going on there? We have 20, 20, and 50. That's not 100. Well, there are 10% out there, 10% of the personalities that just choose to do nothing. They're not even sure what they should be doing out there, so they just kind of stand with their hands off the steering wheel and say, I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. So we want to make sure we can help out and address each of those investor profiles and be aware of those. So from that, on the next slide here, we're going to see that we have different investor types and what exactly they can do. So we've got different roles, and then who's going to do what each of these. So the online investment guidance, the participant out there that kind of knows what they're doing, that first box that we saw earlier. They're going to pick their own investment options. They're going to implement their own picks. They're going to confirm what they're doing. They're going to update their account, and they're going to do all that on their own. That's what we've been typically having participants do today. Now, obviously, we've had the target date funds in there, and those target date funds are designed to be a fund that is investing appropriately for somebody desiring to retire in a certain year. But at the same time, it's not very specific to that participant and what their needs are. So many participants out there might want to have something that's more personalized. That's where the online investment advice and managed accounts could come into play. So with the online investment advice tool, Advised Assets Group will pick the investment options for them. They'll still be responsible for implementing the picks and confirming the action. What's nice about using this particular solution is that you still have a say in what you're going to invest in. You can still go make choices. And you can go in and say, you know what, I like the fact that they suggested I should do these things, but I'm going to modify it a little bit on my own. I'm going to do something myself. And that's where the online investment advice comes in. But finally, the managed accounts is where managed accounts, so advised assets, will actually take over all of those roles. So they're going to go in and they're going to pick the investment options for you. They're going to implement those picks. They're going to be monitoring your account, making changes throughout the year as appropriate, and updating your account. They'll also provide you with a progress report card that you'll see in the mail regularly to see how you're coming upon your goals and what are some other things that they're out there doing and looking at for you. So what we've done is we've created some tools that really can address the needs and concerns of each of those investor types. So managed accounts will be on the next slide here. And in case you're wondering what a managed account is, it's going to be something that is a feature, and it's something provided by Advised Assets Group. And Advised Assets Group is a federally registered investment advisor. They do partner with Ibbotson Associates, who's an industry leader in asset allocation, and does investment analytics and tools there. They are federally registered investment advisors. So they're going to come up with specific recommendations for you. They're going to work with you to get a complete picture of your financial situation. They're going to look at things like, what's your account balance? What's your estimated Social Security benefit? And they'll also start to ask you questions like, are you expecting a pension? If you provide us that information, then Advised Assets Group can create a more personalized recommendation for you. Other assets you have outside the plan, including anything on your spouse's finances. So you can enter in IRA information or other amounts that you might have coming towards you. And it will give you then a good indication of exactly what you should be doing. Once we have all of those numbers, though, then Advised Assets Group and Ibbotson will formulate a strategy that includes an allocation and a savings contribution rate that would help you best to prepare to retire when you want to do that. Now, if you'd like to change things like your targeted age and things like that, you can go in and make those changes. And from there, it will start to refine those recommendations and do things differently based upon what you're doing and what you're doing on there. So it's going to give you personalized information and personalized advice there. If we go to the next slide, you'll see this is where we get into the managed accounts piece. There we go. And so it's going to look at what we have today. It's going to look at what you're going to need in retirement. And it's going to prepare a strategy for you there. Now, the managed accounts process, you're going to voluntarily enroll a managed account. So this is something that we're not automatically doing to you. We're not going to put you into this service or anything else. This is something you would need to enroll yourself into. In order to do that, you'll simply go up to the website, the www.acecrtplan.com website. You can go in and log into your account there. You can go click on the Managed Accounts tile to go in and to do that. So with the Managed Account service, the investments will be selected on your behalf, again, by Advised Assets Group. The Advised Assets Group is going to use the plan's investment options. I'm not going to grab investments that are not currently available in the trust lineup or in the plans lineup that you have available to you today. It'll look at each of those, and it'll say, based upon that, here is exactly what you should be doing. It's going to then, if you select the full Managed Accounts feature, it's going to ask you for all that information, like your outside assets, your IRA information, all those pieces, and it will then give you a recommendation and allow you to implement that recommendation there as well. Once you get that, you're also going to get a welcome packet in the mail. That welcome packet will come to you, and it's going to lay out all the information that you provided to managed accounts. And I would encourage you to make sure that you're reviewing that information there, because realistically, we know that the more information we can get on that outside asset information and what else you're invested in, we're going to come up with a more personalized recommendation for you on that as well. And then, of course, as life changes, it's going to start to change those things too. So if you, for example, have a new baby or something like that, have a change in lifestyle income things, you can go and make those changes. You want to constantly update that. You'll get more personalized recommendation for you there. Now, it doesn't mean that your investments are subject to the same risks as other investments. Of course, with any investment that you have, your asset may still undergo a certain amount of risk, and they may lose money due to volatility in the market. But at the same time, you've also got managed account is going to be taking a looking at that account. So we're also going to look at your account quarterly. And each quarter, managed account will go through a review, and your account will be reviewed to see what needs to be done. We kind of call this the oil change, where we're going to look at every quarter. We're going to make sure that you're doing the right thing, that you're getting that oil changed, and that we're looking at what accounts should you be invested in, what funds should be doing. Is the percentage correct for you? Has there been a certain fund that the percentages have gotten out of because of returns over the previous quarter, where that fund is maybe out of alignment a little bit? We need to make sure we add some more money from that or take some money out of that fund as well. We don't have to schedule that. It's going to be automatically done for you. And of course, once that review is complete, you're going to receive a confirmation in the mail suggesting exactly what changes were made and letting you know that that's taken care of from there. The managed account process also goes through an annual review. So with the annual review, we want to make sure, again, you review that for accuracy. Then give us any information on updates, including life circumstances, such as if you were to get married, have a child, or get an increase in income. Once you can update that information to us, again, we will provide a updated information for you and can go and make the changes that are necessary to keep you this way. But it also really starts to lay out, again, the big picture stuff for us. Will show us on here what we're going to do next. What are your participants going to see, or what are you going to see as a participant, rather, in terms of your retirement? Or is there a gap that's starting to develop over what you're going to need in retirement versus what you have today? So we'll lay out all that information for us, and we'll put that in one easy spot for you to go in and access and view and update there. That's what you're going to see that at least annually. Now, Again, as we mentioned earlier, we want to make sure that you're getting us all the information that we need in order to get things done. If you want to provide us with that personal financial profile form, which you'll get in the welcome kit as well as your annual kit, you want to make sure you're looking at the Trust website. And then, of course, if you ever need to give us a call, you can certainly give us a call. We'll be happy to help you out, walking you through the enrollment process, giving you more information there as well. So with Managed Account Service, really, if you remember, as we discussed earlier, the investments are selected from the investment options available within your plan on behalf of Advised Assets Group based upon your goals and situations. Any of the outside information that you enter to us, the IRAs, the pension, savings, stocks, etc., it's going to really help to protect that recommendation for you as well. Make sure you use the personal financial profile form, put it in the welcome kit to give us that information. And then as you spend that time with us, it's going to certainly help out in getting the recommendations that you need and are appropriately made for you there as well. Now, there are some fees associated with utilizing this service. And just as a quick reminder, this is only if you elect to enroll in the service. So if you stay at what you're doing today, where you're just simply using the tools that you have today, there's no charge from the managed account side for that at all. You'll continue to have the investment options, charges, and some of those things associated with your account. Now, if you'd like to use the online investment advice feature, where you're paying us to go through and give you investment advice, but you're still doing it on your own. This is the one where it's kind of the do-it-with-me side. So you're going to go out and make your own changes, but you're going to ask us for a recommended allocation. There is a fee for that. It ends up being $25 a year, or $6.25 per quarter, that you're going to pay for that service. And that's going to give you, you can run it as many times as you want. You can go and run it daily if you'd like to. And it will say, here's what you should be in. Here are the investment options that you should be doing based upon what you've given us. But you'll be responsible for going in, entering those, updating, and maintaining that information as well. The managed account service, though, is where you're having somebody else fully take over your account and manage that. Again, there's a fee for that. These fees are paid quarterly, so we're showing them at a quarterly basis point percentage. So for the first $100,000 that you have in your account, you're going to pay 0.1125%, or 11.25 basis points for that amount. It comes out to be 45 basis points annually. Then for the next $150,000 you have in your account is going to be 0.0875%, or 35 basis points there annually. For the next $150,000, you're going to pay 0.0625%, which is 25 basis points annually there. And then finally, over 400,000, going to be 0.0375%, or 15 basis points annually there. So this is going to be a sliding scale based upon your account value, your account balance throughout the quarter there. So some examples of what you'd expect to pay if you had a $10,000 account balance, for example, you would see a quarterly charge of $11.25 to utilize the managed accounts. Of course, this is above and beyond the fees that are charged for the mutual funds that you're investing in, or any of the funds that you're investing in there. This is for the utilization of the managed account service for you there. What you'll find is it feels like this is a very competitive price. The ACEC Retirement Trust has been looking out to ensure that they were offering a product that was competitive price-wise, and things there. And that was one of the key components they were looking at in reviewing this product as well. Now, again, quick reminder here, the advisory services, it does give us the opportunity to receive investment advice throughout your life, from when you're in the accumulation side to also when you're taking distributions after you retire. During the accumulation phase or during the savings phase, when you're still actively employed, you're going to receive that personal savings rate information analysis. You'll receive retirement income projections, and then you'll receive a personalized professional account management on custom paths for managed account users within 10 years of retirement, and are referred to as that transition time frame. Within 10 years, we'll get information about what you should be doing, looking at life expectancy and all those pieces. And then finally, as you go to retire, you'll get information on how you should be taking money out, and continued management through retirement as well there. So if you'd like to enroll in the managed account service, that's something that you can do today. You can go out to the plan's website, www.acecrtplan.com, or you can give us a call at 866-221-3858 and go in and enroll there. If either one of these two methods will allow you to insert in all of your outside asset information, and you'll get a very personalized recommendation and services for you there. We would encourage you to spend some time, and when you actually go in and enroll, allow a little bit of time to go in and put in the outside information that you have on your IRAs, other accounts, all that information there as well, because as we can get that additional data, we can have a more complete process for you there. So that concludes my comments. What questions do we have here so far?
Great, thank you so much, John. We appreciate you sharing your time and knowledge with all of us here today. And we will now start addressing some of the questions that have been filtering in. Please remember that if you have any questions, you can submit them using the Q&A tool on your webinar menu. And as always, you can reach out to ACEC RT's Financial Wellness Help Center. Let's go ahead and see if we have any questions that have filtered in. And at the moment, it doesn't appear that we have any, so we'll just go ahead and give it a minute longer. Our first question, are the age and risk target options going away?
No, the age and risk target options will still continue to be available to plan participants within the trust. So we're not making any changes to the trust lineup or fund menu at all in terms of offering this. This is just a way of getting more personalized information and advice for those participants. So those will continue to be an option for you. Again, we're not forcing any participants to make any changes at all here. This is entirely an elective service for those participants that have reached out in the past and said, we would like to get more help and more information, and we'd like to have somebody that can give us advice specifically on where we need to be putting our money.